There we go. So this is all the stuff, well, not all the stuff, but this is some of the stuff that people were sending me from Reddit this week. So I just wanted to go through it and talk about, you know, whether it's good. Especially because some of it, I get sent a lot of stuff that has like either a lot of YouTube views or a lot of upvotes. Like this has 185 upvotes. And people are like, yeah, but I remember you saying this thing or that thing that kind of contradicts this. So what about it, right? So right here, we've got a post by Cuz, who lectures out a game. And he says, it's a good example of jump strafing and crouch spamming in a gunfight. Really helps its own. Alright, so this one I got sent, we're gonna have a look at it. So this guy is on Xbox, I think. He's in top 3. Finishing out the game, so let's see at his strafing, his crouch spamming. Right here he gets himself stuck. Right, so that first one, that was a good crouch, right? That's a good example of a crouch. I'm uploading a video of me playing ranked soon, where you'll see me doing a lot, right? That a lot. So when hip firing, when you crouch, you can tighten up the spread a little bit on most guns, as well as putting a crouch in your strafe pattern every now and then will throw off their aim, especially since this guy is jumping, which pushes his aim upward, and then you go downward, making yourself harder to hit. That's great. Then this jump is okay because the guy is reloading, so it's fine, but it doesn't do anything because the dude is reloading, so the only thing it does is it throws off your own aim, right? Now he's done reloading and he's already dead, so all you've done is make it more difficult for yourself to aim. There's no point in that. There's no value in that whatsoever. Alright, so he gets a heal off here, he has cover, that's great. This jump was also fine, for a very simple reason. Right here, he knows that the lifeline is coming, and the lifeline can only come from one direction, right? Because he can hear her coming and there's only one side she can come from. So if he can time his jump towards the right as she turns the corner, she can't see the start of his jump, only the end, right? So she has to respond really, really quickly to aim up, and by the time you're already down. That's great. That's the opposite of when you're out in the open and you jump, you lock yourself in a very simple arcing animation, and you make yourself very easy to hit the people against people that know how to aim. So that's a terrible idea. Here, jumping around the corner like this, if you time it correctly, and it's somewhat difficult, it's very good. So this is absolutely fine, and then he uses crouch, but then he jumps again. While he's reloading and she's shooting, he jumps again. That's terrible. That second jump is not a good idea. Once again, he's locked into an animation, you can't move a lot when you jump, and so this jump just makes him easier to hit. He ends it with a crouch at least, that's decent, but he should have just strafed and crouched. He's also not strafing a lot in general, he's basically only jump strafing instead of regular strafing. Regular strafing would have been 100 times better. Alright, dude's healing up. Obviously he shouldn't be focused on the down guy when there's still somebody left through the door, but so far so good. Right, he's actually strafing and crouching there, that's good. He has double R99. Small thing, this has nothing to do with crouching or strafing, but he's chasing a Pathfinder as Pathfinder. If you're chasing a Pathfinder when you're Pathfinder yourself, you should never use grapple until the enemy Pathfinder uses his grapple, right? Because if you use your grapple first, well, now it's on a 10-12 second cooldown because he has gold helmet. If the enemy Pathfinder uses his grapple second, you can no longer catch up. So there goes your kill. Right, luckily this guy is completely oblivious and so he gets to win. But only about half of these jumps were decent, and that was more so due to luck because he always jumps instead of strafing. So the crouches were a decent example, but all of this jumping, the only reason he didn't get killed for it is because the enemies didn't know how to aim. Like, we saw a ridiculous amount of shots that were missed when he jumped, but any good player would have instantly lasered him, especially with one of these enemies using a devotion. If there was any good player, both on controller or PC, they know exactly how to follow that arc, because they've done it a million times before and it's always the same animation, right? Except for the very, very, very last part, which is such a small movement it really doesn't matter. You would have been completely one-man. So, not a great example of jump strafing in a fight. Crouch spamming is decent in this, but if he strafed more and then his crouch spams at the end of strafes, it would be way better.